Hey everybody, sorry about that. They closed the last stream. There was some lagging issues going on, so hopefully I fixed them this time. Hope everybody's doing good. Everybody's doing all right. Um, so today we are going to be playing another story game. So it's Friday, which means that we're doing our normal um, horror game Fridays. If anybody is new to the community, every Wednesday we do kind of a trivia game where instead of doing like a just chatting where you guys get to know me. We talk between each other, and you guys get to play games with me. It's more about you guys get to vote and play games to win gift cards on Wednesdays. And then every Friday we do some kind of horror game. This week and next week we're doing the more of a story based game. Last week we did. Oh, what did we do last week? We did. Oh, I don't remember what we did last week. I apologize. Um, I completely forgot it. It's a great game though. Whatever, whatever I did last week, I don't know why I can't think of it. I'm gonna bring it up. Um, it's a great story-based game that I did last week. It's a lot of fun. Oh, it's such the D. It's on the tip of my tongue. You guys ever have that where you just can't remember exactly what you're trying to think of? Oh man, it drives me nuts. Ugh, crazy. Got Alzheimer's, I swear. Last week we did something. Jeez, I'm trying to find it. Dear Esther, that's what we did last week. Dear Esther was a lot of fun. It's a great game. If you guys haven't seen that VOD, I think I was still having some lag issues. Those seem to be sorted out now though, which is good. Hopefully nobody's experiencing any kind of lag in the background. Let me turn the lights up just a little bit for you. We'll go back to the mood lighting afterwards. But yeah, Dear Esther was a lot of fun. It's a very good game. It's a good game to get into if you guys are new to like storytelling. I would say probably don't buy it. If anything, watch my VOD, watch somebody's VOD on it. It's a very straightforward game. It's only about, I think it only took me about an hour and a half to beat it. I had also played it before in my defense. However, I did go kind of straight through the story and let you guys experience it as I went through. So it maybe took about 2 hours. So if you have 2 hours worth of time, it's about the length of a movie and it's a great, great story. I really recommend it. Dear Esther was great last week. This week we're doing What Remains of Edith Finch, and then we're going to be continuing our story-based kind of horror games next week. I haven't decided what we're doing next week, but it'll be along the same lines, and then we'll be back to normal horror. So after next week, that following Friday, we're either going to do The Park, which is an extreme horror game, just crazy, crazy scary, or we're going to do not Resident Evil, but I had another one, Visage. Visage is a great game. If you guys haven't seen Visage or heard of it, it is similar to PT if you ever played PT. And it's a crazy, crazy experience because you're within the walls attempting to gather up the belongings of your deceased relative, and it's a crazy psychological horror. It drives you nuts. It's such a good story, but with not a lot of like jump scares, but it has a lot of psychological elements to it that make it scary. Even if you know you shouldn't be scared, the environment is very 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 scary. It keeps you on edge the entire time. So that'll be a lot of fun. Not next week, but the week after we're doing Visage. Next week will be another story one. Um, yeah, and then other things to catch up on. So my microphone is still down, my nice microphone. So I'm using a headset. I decided not to use my gigantic, bulky gaming headset that I usually play FPSs with. Those are the ones that I usually use if I don't want to hear my surroundings. But this one works pretty well. This is actually my travel headset. If you guys haven't seen this headset, it's called the Game Zero headset. You're supposed to travel with it, so it folds. So here, let me show you. So it kind of folds together. Hopefully that wasn't annoying to you guys, but so it's a great headset to travel with, and it's by Sennheiser. I have tried so many headsets. I have the Razer V2 from Kraken. I've got Astro Gaming headsets. I've got A1s, and I don't remember what the other one is. A2 maybe. I've got a bunch of like Plantronics headsets. I've got just all kinds. This one, the Sennheiser GSP. I would say only use it if you're like heavy into gaming because it's heavy. It's hard to play long stints with it. But this one, the travel one, it's very nice. I really want to get back to using my microphone for you guys. I figured out what was wrong with the audio quality on it. Hopefully, I can get it fixed in the next week or two. I've got to get a preamp for it, which I wasn't aware of. So as soon as I get that, we'll be back to using it. And then I can go back to using my good headset, which is the Sennheiser Studio Recording headset. It's very similar to this one, but it has a little bit better audio quality. But yeah, that's about it for catching up. If anybody is new here, I hope you enjoy the story experience that we're going to be going into. During the Fridays for the story games, I don't talk a ton. I don't want to interrupt the story. I want you guys to be able to experience it. So once we start, might take a break in between once for everybody in case you guys want to get some water or something. But after that, I probably won't, again, be talking a whole lot. I try not to give a ton of opinions or like wild theories. I actually haven't played Edith Finch all the way through ever. I think I started to play it a couple of years ago. So it'll be kind of a new experience to all of us at once. But yeah, I hope everybody enjoys it. If you do, feel free to follow, feel free to subscribe if you guys want to. We do have subscriber goals as well. So if you guys do hit the subscriber goal on Wednesdays when we do the gift card giveaways for the trivia challenge for you guys, I'll be adding 2 more gift cards to give away for the followers. So and the subscribers. So if you guys subscribe this week on Wednesday, if you guys go back and watch that VOD, I kind of don't recommend it. There was a lot of stream issues like lagging and stuff, but everybody loved what we were doing. Everybody always loves Harry Potter trivia or Disney trivia. I think next week we're doing Harry Potter, and I might mix in some Marvel trivia as well, so that'll be fun. But we gave away 6 gift cards to you guys in the community, and it was a lot of fun, and we're going to be doing the same thing next week. So if you guys want to come back, if you guys want to subscribe, if you guys want to follow, tune in. We'll be doing gift card giveaways next week to the followers and the subscribers. So all right, let me shrink myself here really quick. And I'll put on the mood lighting for everybody. There we go. And let me turn up the volume just a little bit. Yeah. So I'm going to keep the volume right at about the same level that my voice is at. That way I don't kind of ruin the experience for you guys. If I'm too quiet or if the game's too quiet, feel free to let me know. If you guys want to yell at me in chat for something stupid that I'm doing, feel free. I am all for talking to you guys. But yeah, all right, here we go. So this is kind of the home screen, but actually on the home screen, it's sort of part of the story.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
The audio in the game is a little bit quiet. You guys can hear. Let me try to turn it up. It is already maxed out. Let me turn it up on actually. Hopefully that's good. If it's too loud, just yell at me in chat, and I'll turn it down if it's
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms. Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral. In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or She thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back. No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints. The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it. As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house. Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11. For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
So it looks like the brother died.
Like how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Oh, somebody screenshot it. Making up. Bye.
Or how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot. The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home. Nothing in the house looked abnormal, There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
This house is extremely large. From the outside when we were looking at it.
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
From the outside, the house was obviously expanded on a ton, and like it looks haphazard, but it was put together. It was kind of cool looking. The attention to detail in this is really cool. They make it look very lived in, for sure. It's like what you'd see in like a house growing up, just kind of cluttered, but also covered in collectibles, sort of memories.
Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
That's weird.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night. My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
Let's try going downstairs first.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Oh, let's take the frickin' roller coaster, yeah?
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Everyone's rooms like this.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
It's pretty cool looking. Very cool.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Let's take a look and see if there's a massage first. Oh, that's cool. I feel like a mural on the saw. All the rooms are still sealed up. Family photos everywhere.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara. Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left. Edie's father, Odin, built the original house.
His name was Odin. That's awesome.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Playing as Molina.
My Halloween candy was all gone. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Ew. Oh, the perspective of being
I
so
kept
small
eating
is
and
interesting.
eating.
Toothpaste?
I ate a lot of things that night.
I don't think those are real. Those are like plastic.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits. I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something
Taking it
bigger.
weird.
a mama rabbit. She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark. I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals. Off her flipper, and it tasted really good. Grabbed on tight, but I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Belly with a rusty razor, belly with a rusty razor, belly with a rusty razor. What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor?
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
This is such a cool game, Kevin.
I got closer and closer. All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
That is weird.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
It's such a crazy story.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways. Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Some heavy shade carpet, alright.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace. There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book. Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
towards Sam and Fort Calvin. The red line across.
I
it
knew
said
Grandpa Sam had a
Indians.
twin. And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did.
Control both feet.
At Barbara's funeral, we
That's
swore
weird.
we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing. After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again. The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies. Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
My friend Bigfoot.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
It's strange that the key was still in the music box.
She found Rick's clutch and imagined the worst.
Infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
These things are horrifying. This music is so tense.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh dear.
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick.
So sad.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box. Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Oh, it's a dragon.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
I don't know if you guys heard that, but that was weird. Somebody falling upstairs. You don't know about it.
I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Cool.
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can. I know it's out there, somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me. Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made, trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real. I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
All the gerbils. Zerpy, Lurpy, Burpy, Chirpy, Burpy, Derpy, and Derpy Jr. Oh, shut up. It's a cat, too. One of our family pet.
Sven built the house, but it was Edith who designed the cemetery.
Oh, there's like custom tombstones are really cool. Saw. Edith's book. Walter's tunnel. That's a little. I don't know. Looks like you're making fun of him. Barbara's star.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was when we walked out here. So I don't know if we were going to be able to get to it. That's really cool, standing on top of the broken house, looking over the water. Oh, I bet that's their old house. I bet that's the first house.
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
Sad way to learn new history.
But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Oh, she's 22 weeks pregnant right now. I'm doing this. Are you kidding me? Dude, you are a crazy person.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense. Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
What?
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? Please just take the damn picture.
Hey, language.
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee. Hey!
That's a keeper. Hold still while I take a picture of you.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn.
It's difficult to.
Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad.
Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn! I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
It's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad! Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
It's really sad.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Gregory, it's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like. He reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was he saw. It sure made him happy. I know how silly it sounds. That I worried about a baby being too happy. I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory, about everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met me, "We don't need a stepmom," were the words that
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
The kite is like the size of the people.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. Rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't, until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus. My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay. My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good, almost normal, but it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Hey, no shit. Yeah, last week we did, I'm gonna forget the name of it. I announced it at the beginning, but yeah, I've never actually played all the way through this. I wanted to do this, and then there's one more game like this. It's like the epitome of all of these, and I'm not gonna give it away, but I'm gonna play it next week, but it's like the saddest version of these types of games that you can possibly think of. I'm gonna look up the one I played last week. I can't remember it. You ever get that, where you play so many video games, and then like you just can't remember what the heck one was called? Dear Esther. For some reason I keep forgetting the name of that. Yeah, last week I played Dear Esther. Edith Finch is like the next step up, and then there's one more after this, so I'm really excited to play it for everybody. I think I resolved all the issues too with my video and audio, so. Let me turn it up a little bit. How's that? Is that better? Yeah, my other mic, I did figure out what was wrong with it, my nice mic, this one. I've got to get a preamp for it. I didn't realize that I needed to have one, because I thought that the line audio would be loud enough coming into the stream, but it was not at all. It sounds like I'm whispering constantly.
Milton
So
Finch
I'm wearing my
in
headset to
The Magic Paintbrush.
These stories are so sad.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Looks like there's only one left.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Oh, I didn't know that. Is it just an expansion to this one? I turned down the game audio. Is it just like an expansion to this video game, or is it a completely separate game? Either way, maybe that's what I should do tomorrow. For tomorrow's stream. Oh yeah, the unfinished fun. Yeah, I think I've seen a playthrough of that game. I don't remember much about it though, but that's the one where it's like paintbrushes, right? Where they paint onto the next page, I think. I'm thinking of it.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room, until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I might play that tomorrow then. Yeah, Random King comes into this world, starts ruling it. It's hinted in this game that Milton is the king because he has the same crown and mustache logo. This world being the painted world. Yeah, I love these games so far. If you haven't played Dear Esther, I played it last week, and it's only like 2 hours long. But that's a very similar game as well. I'll definitely try to pick up Unfinished Swan. That's probably what I'll do tomorrow on this stream.
Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
The smell of weed always lived on.
He was so proud of being Indian. I think for him, it was a way to be something other than just a Finch.
It might not actually be weed, it might just be like the hookah smell. Hookahs don't smell that bad in general. It's like the PBS logo.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Louis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Louis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. He took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Louis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Louis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Louis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play.
It's so entrancing. It's such a cool experience.
He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger.
Having to multitask with, like...
He no longer spoke at the cannon.
It forces you to...
But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor.
This reminds me of filler.
And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
If you haven't seen the TV show, and actually Fillory and further.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on.
The magicians. They create the
New Louisville.
Where they go into their own story world called Fillory and further.
St. Louis.
Similar.
He started drifting away from our reality.
Similar reasoning, creation. Basically boredom. Your world is great.
Minneapolis.
Entices you. So
Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery.
Yeah, but they...
Even as his mother pleaded with him.
I'm upset that they killed him
sailing
off.
on.
I don't know how far you've watched them. They killed off the main character, and I'm upset about it. And I'm like, oh my god, he was my favorite character in the whole show.
In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen.
Yeah, it gets a lot better on like season 2 or 3. This last season was so intense. And it brought back...
The queen was on her own quest for... radiant rainbows.
They brought back a lot of the main elements of the TV show. Of what it was trying to do. With the end off to the story that's just so
He followed the sound of her...
sister turns me like, what's up, God? Yeah, I mean...
silver harp.
Stuck in a huge time. The tread sinking in savor. Oh, that's probably end of season 2, beginning of season 3. So you probably don't have that many episodes left to finish it off.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon.
Yeah, the library becomes like a very common theme.
Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people that watch it that I know.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
Like the main theme of it is not.
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me.
Like,
it was hard to argue with him.
It's like, no, like, you know, they're bored with the offerings of life. Things always go bad. There's so much death around them, and they want something to feel magical again, and then they find it. But even something magical turns out to
He began to forget the world we know.
Just as much of a headache as anything in the normal life. I really like the themes of it. This
I think
actual
it
part of
pained
this
him
game,
to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
this part of this game actually makes me not nostalgic. I want to pause first. This part of the game I really like relate to, because I've had jobs in the past where before I got into my main profession for what I do, I really felt monotony in a lot of areas. So like going to work and doing a 9 to 5 and driving for 5 or 6 hours just to get to work back and forth. It definitely feels just like this, like what it feels like at the cannery, where you just want to escape, so you escape into your own mind, and you try to retreat into yourself because you need something to pass the time, but like it's not like you can quit your job or anything because you need something to do. You know, you have to make money, you have to keep yourself busy and pay bills and stuff. This part of the game,
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
That's nothing.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him.
And I will say it again, every house needs what we want to their house. Yeah, I agree. It really does. All the other stories are very sad, which is fine. It's just, this one has probably the best.
His queen waited, holding his crown.
The best message.
There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Inochi, have you played Life is Strange at all? That was one of the other ones I was looking into. That has a similar like storytelling pattern. I've never actually played it. Jeez, it's interesting to see you respond so quick.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing.
I changed around a lot of my streaming settings to make it...
She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie.
To make it significantly low latency. So that when we're doing like the Wednesday streams and you guys are like when you guys are voting and stuff.
I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
I wanted to make it more immediate, so it's interesting to see everything come back so quickly, like in chat.
I wish we'd stayed.
Didn't they just? I think they just released another part of Life is Strange or something.
But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe I should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom doesn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Incredibly sad. I can see why it's one of your favorites, Nochi. appreciate that they all like dredged up younger photos of themselves for the end credits. Cute. This game definitely hits on a lot of elements of like tragedy. So like no matter who was really playing it, they could kind of relate to at least one of the stories. Sad. It was a really good story. Just in general, I think it was great. Hope everybody's enjoying these kinds of like short story kind of games. We've been doing a few of them over the last couple weeks. I've only got one more planned, and then we're back to regular Horror Fridays, where we're going to be playing Visage, which is incredibly scary. I can't remember if I've got to play it on PC or PS4. This game, Visage, is incredibly scary. This game, it's very similar to like PT. So like, it's more of a psychological horror type of game. It very much messes with your head. But we're going to be playing this after... We might be playing it next week, it depends. I've got my new motherboard for my PC that I've got to install, and it just depends on if everything goes right. Then we'll be playing the other story game that I have planned that I'm not going to tell anybody about. But that one's even sadder than Edith Finch. And the other one that I have planned after that is called The Park. I'm fairly certain that was a PC only. Oh no, came out on PS4. This is another incredibly scary game. This one is obviously about a haunted theme park. So if people don't like crazy Halloween rides and stuff, like that's basically what it's about. But yeah, hopefully everybody enjoyed it. I'm not sure what else. Let's see if I have anything else that we could play. I know that generally we keep these Friday streams a little bit shorter for the story games, but let's see if we've got anything else. I don't have a ton downloaded onto the PS5. These are the ones that I wanted to play with you guys, the Dark Pictures anthologies. stories, Little Hope and Madame Madame. Oh, you're good enough, G. Yeah, I was just saying how good of a story Edith Finch was. I have one more game planned for like our horror or our storytelling Fridays. And it's a PC only game, but it's incredibly sad. It's way sadder than Edith Finch, but it is so enthralling. I'm not going to give it away because I don't want people to look it up prematurely. And if you look it up, it kind of ruins what the game is about. More or less, it's about game development, sorta. I don't know. But it's an incredibly sad story. I've got to play it on PC only, but I just got my new motherboard, so I've got to install that, and if it goes well, then we can play it next week. If not, we'll probably be playing either Visage, which is an incredibly scary game, or The Park, which is another incredibly scary horror game. Or we could do Dark Pictures Anthologies. It just depends on what people want to do. If they want more story Fridays or if they want more horror Fridays. Depends on what people are up for. What's your guys' opinion? Jawala, I think you're in chat. Anochi, what do you think? You guys want more story Fridays or you guys want actual psychological horror Fridays next week? I've got a bunch of these in my back pocket, story type games. Yeah, Visage, I think you were still away, but so Visage is crazy scary. It's like PT, but a finished game and more of a psychological horror. This is Visage. It's like it's like PT, where you're kind of in a house, trying to figure out the story, and it is an incredible like mindfuck. It's crazy. And the park is a haunted theme park, so you can imagine how creepy that was. We could also shift them too. Just depends. Oh yeah, Scott Pilgrim just came back out, didn't it? Forgot about that. Yeah, Visage is creepy. The park is just as scary. And I don't do well with like horror games. I mean, I like playing them and I really love watching horror movies, but like I have a hard time watching them alone. And I generally don't. I usually wait until at least there's one other person in the room to watch them with, because I'm a giant baby. But I love playing horror games, and playing them in front of people is good like content and funny to watch because I am a gigantic baby. Yeah, the park is freaking creepy. It's so scary. Yeah, Outlast is good. I really enjoy Outlast 2 is, I would say, almost scarier because you're on the run the whole time and you can't stop. Slowing down in the second one is not advised. The first one, it's more of like a mystery. But yeah, same thing. Like these are more for everybody else than they are for me. Even though I do love playing horror games. There was a new co-op horror game as well that I wanted to play with somebody. Someone told me to play the second one, so I'm gonna have to have them vote. I would say if you're really interested in the lore of Outlast, start with the first one. But otherwise, you don't really have to know a lot about the first one in order to play the second one. It's not really mandatory. They're both very scary. And the second one is way better, in my opinion. They took all of their strengths from the first one and then they kind of toned down all of their low points from the first one as well. I think that the developers did a very good job building on what they had already come up with. I have wanted to play this with somebody too, Spellbreak. The second one, yeah. The first one, my trouble with the first one, especially if you're not used to, like Resident Evil is very linear, but Outlast, the first one, there's a lot of like, not knowing what to do when there's no hints. So as a streamer, it kind of ruins it where you might have to like look up what you're supposed to be doing because there's this very specific order you have to do things in. And there's such a big open play space where you can kind of just choose what to do that you might get it wrong. And the problem is if you're dilly-dallying for too long and wasting too much time, you'll run out of batteries in your recorder, your camcorder. And if you run out of batteries, there's no way to get more. So you just kind of have to wander around in the dark and fail a bunch of times if it comes to that. So like, I don't know. It's good content if you know what you're in for. If you've watched someone stream and are just kind of like sort of remembering what to do, that's a good way to play it too. But yeah, Outlast 2 is a lot better. It's a lot scarier, for sure. Especially your first time. That'll be funny to watch. I'll definitely have to tune in for that one. Yeah, I wish everybody could have stuck around on the Wednesday stream too. It sucks that I had such video problems. I put a lot of work into those, trying to get the trivia questions and like everything in order. I really wish I hadn't done the video, or like, I really wish that I hadn't messed up my video streaming for it. Kind of a bummer earlier in the week. Played on pitch black. See, that's why I've got the mood lighting. So, like, when people want to, when I play horror games, right, I put on the mood lighting, and it's going to be one of my subscriber goals or follower goals. Well, not a goal, but like, if somebody gifts subs on like Wednesday or earlier in the week, I'm gonna have them pick the color of the lighting for my horror days. And we can do pitch black, or we could do this, which is even creepier, and just do death red the whole time while I'm streaming, and it would be incredibly creepy. Exactly. I tried to tune in, but I don't really watch Harry Potter. Yeah. Oh, and that's the thing too. The community is really good, or really nice around both the Disney trivia and the Harry Potter trivia. So next week, imagine someone saying something just move right behind you. Earlier in the stream, I don't think you were here, but somebody like, so I live in a larger apartment, and somebody must have like fell or dropped something in the apartment above me while we were doing something during Edith Finch, and I was like, what the hell was that? I looked at my door immediately because I thought like somebody was knocking or like pounding on my door. Yeah, that was creepy. Anyway. But yeah, for the trivia stuff, whatever, should probably just go to camera roll, yeah. So for the Wednesday stream for trivia, because it had messed up so bad this Wednesday, or whatever the last Wednesday, I still gave away 6 gift cards to people in chat, and we had just stopped like in the middle. I think I had made like 70 questions, but we only got through like 35 of them because the stream was going so long. I just decided to give them away anyway, even though there was like, chat couldn't technically beat the goal or whatever, you know, but I just gave away all 6 gift cards anyway. Everybody subscribed when we hit the goal. So next week we're going to give away 6 gift cards again, starting there. And, but next week I think I'm going to do half of it to be Harry Potter and half of it to be something else. So if you have an opinion on what you want the trivia to be, I can definitely do that, because there were people that said they wanted to do Lord of the Rings trivia. There were people that said they wanted to do The Office trivia. There were people that said they wanted to do just like normal bar trivia or Marvel trivia. I can kind of pull together anything that we want, but it just depends on what people want to see. It's fun being here just to see how people react too, because we had so not last Wednesday, but the first Wednesday I did the trivia. We had a bunch of like Disney pros in the audience. There were people from like the Disney, what do you call them? The Disney like Facebook groups, and the people that follow Disney and buy like the newest Disney Dooney and Burke merch and stuff. You don't watch any of those things. But they watch all like the Disney Dooney and Burke stuff, and I actually tripped them up on a couple of the questions. So they were kind of upset that they didn't win or like didn't beat me in it. So they only got like 82% out of 100% out of the questions, and there were only like 40 questions. So it was funny. So I enjoy making them. But yeah, if you have an opinion on what you want to see for trivia too, we could definitely go off that because I have a ton of options, whatever they are. I do also want to do what Wubby did, where they do Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? I feel like with the low latency chat, it would be a lot of fun getting everybody else to do it now. Just in general. Have you tried the oh, what's it called? I'm just gonna put something random on. I don't know what to play. Did you wind up trying the Skyblock challenge again? Oh, also, from our last conversation, I have no idea what trivia is. Or I have no idea what trivia. There's not a lot of large movie or TV series or show series that I watch. I can see that. There's a lot of other stuff too, though. Like Pokemon trivia is one of them. Digimon trivia. There's a lot of them. Just was true in the SMP. Do you play that with people, or is it just you and your personal server? I wasn't sure if you were doing it with like other streamers. Yeah, Pokemon trivia, yeah. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think it would be interesting to a lot of other people out there as well. Because we're doing the Pokemon giveaway on the 20th for the Pokemon cards from the Wubby stream. So I think that'd be a good like segue into it. Good idea. Yeah. There was a big streamer, so I watch Mr. Fruit's streams. Well, not sometimes watch a stream. Usually I just watch his YouTube videos because it's a nice condensed version of. There's a long lull between like not doing anything on a lot of his streams, so I usually just watch his YouTube videos. But they have a huge SMP server going on, and like everybody else, I've always been watching the Rust series going on from like, you know, Jacksepticeye, Pokemon, everybody in the OTV Rust server. I really wish I could get in on that, because one of my favorite things to do is what I do in all of those games, in Rust or in Conan Exiles. I'm basically Daedalus, where I craft like gigantic structures and like huge labyrinths and gigantic houses that people like can't break into. So it's like a challenge for them to try to break into it. One of my favorite things. I really wish that I could be in on those kinds of servers for like either Conan Exiles or Rust or something. Those RP servers where people just like build crazy cool things. I've never really played Minecraft just in general. I have been described as chaotic neutral. My being has been described by multiple people as chaotic neutral, so you're fairly close. Yep. Welcome back. I just picked a random game. It's one of my favorite games. I've played this like way too much over the years. I actually run a fairly large clan in Destiny 2. Speaking of which, I think everybody's like on break. I think Edith playing right now. Yeah, I've never really played Minecraft. I've never really had anybody to show me how to play it either, though. But I think the thing that most interests me about Minecraft is the building aspect, which is like what I aspire to do in like every one of them. I do want to get my PC built though, and try to see if anybody wants to play Raft or like The Forest with me, because I'm very interested in playing those with somebody, because they're fun to watch when you have two people who are two or three people who are like copacetic and like making content or just like have good interaction. Those games are fun. From watching so many Minecraft streams, I know how to like get into the Nether and like build the Nether portal and stuff, and it's so funny like the amount of info that you know without ever actually doing it.
And hold them to your last breath.
Watching you guys play Apex the other day made me kind of nostalgic to play it as well.
Enemy claims zone A. Zone B.
Die. Yeah, I saw that they changed a bunch of stuff for the new Nether. haven't played this game in like 6 months.
You have zone advantage.
Ooh, good shot.
Zone C lost.
For sure, Inochi. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. It's great talking to you. We'll have to get together and play something sometime. Have a good night.
You captured Zone A. You have advantage. Zone B lost. Shut the enemy down. That shut them down. Zone C captured. You have zone advantage. Zone A lost.
Go for B. Dang. Oh, Arcadia is so low. Yeah, I haven't played this in like 6 months, so like, very rusty. I also don't have any of the new abilities unlocked or any of the new supers. Well, the customizations for the supers, I should say.
Zone A captured. You have advantage. Zone C lost. Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours. Your enemy can't kill if they're dead. 5 minutes. Zone B lost. Zone C captured. You have zone
Dang,
advantage.
quick fell. I don't know if we're gonna win this. We definitely have to get some advantage kills here.
Shut the enemy down. Zone B captured. Power play. Keep the pressure on. Zone A lost. Zone B lost. Zone A captured. You have advantage. That's a power play. You took them. Now hold. Zone C lost.
Man, SMGs must have gotten a boost.
Don't let your enemies take this without a fight. Zone B lost.
No, we lost.
Zone A lost. It's power play. Get those zones back.
That was the last kill, of course.
You eat monsters for breakfast. You can win a battle for territory. Again.
.5 and 21, not bad for not playing for like for 6 months. Alright everybody, I think I'm going to call it. Hope everybody had a good night though. I hope everybody enjoyed the stream for what remains of Edith Finch. If you guys haven't already, feel free to hit the follow or subscribe button. Definitely helps me out. If you guys do enjoy trivia, we do Trivia Wednesdays, where we do gift card giveaways. Next week we're going to be giving away 6 gift cards. So if you guys tune in, play along, even if you just sit here and lurk in chat, even if you don't know what kind of trivia it is. Next week it's Harry Potter trivia again. Due to some stream issues this week, we had to extend it. But anyway, for next week's trivia, we're giving away 6 gift cards. So if you guys do want to tune in, that would be a great time. I hope you guys really enjoy it. Next Friday, we're probably either going to be doing, it's always Horror Fridays, but we might be doing another story game. If not, people have been wanting to see more horror games, so we'll probably do Horror Fridays. Otherwise, tomorrow we're going to be streaming probably some random game if chat requests something, but most likely either Genshin Impact, Fall Guys, or we could be doing like For Honor or Mutant Year Zero. And definitely getting into that one a little bit, so it'd be fun to see what your guys' opinion is on that one as well. I had a blast. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Hope everybody's doing well, everybody's safe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.